We are just about live. Okay. We are now up both ways. Excuse me. So we had said we were going to make Havdalah together, do our Havdalah with the bonus once a month, and started that for this month to be the second Saturday of the month. But of course, circumstances call for other things in other times. So we already have our room to be able to come for Havdalah. And tonight is a very different sort of Havdalah that we're going to be doing. It was put together by the National Council of Jewish Women and is being done by different groups all over the country this evening. So hopefully this gives us a space to come together to mourn, also to sing, to pray, to connect, to unite, and to separate from what we knew to what we know. Hopefully this will allow us to make space for all who are already impacted and who now will be by this decision. So I want to offer you the opportunity to do what they did at the online rally last night. And that is to use the chat and put a text in there of what you're feeling about all of this, any words you want to. I'm not going to call out who says what, but just are sharing.
Everybody can see it.
Yeah.
I will call out what's there because I have my chat open. If you don't know what your chat button is, then it'll be harder to do that. But if you want to put in any of the words that you are feeling at this time, we've had more than 24 hours, so it's not like that immediate response, but frustrated, angry,
all of that.
Worried, concerned, sad.
Lost the end.
Oh.
Just sit in.
Just to be with our feelings for a few moments before we then move in. Concerned. Havdalah tonight is making a very significant separation. One moment. We're making a separation from the one way of being with abortion access in this country for nearly 50 years and another. Separation between a country where abortion was the legal law of this land to a country where this is no longer so. But unlike the traditional Havdalah ceremony, which makes all distinctions and marks them all as being valuable, the sacred and the mundane, the seventh day and the other 6 days of the week, Jews and the other communities of the world, here we know that at this time into which we are crossing is not as worthy of divine praise as the time we are leaving behind. As a result of the Supreme Court's decision, more people will be harmed with disastrous effects on their autonomy, their dignity, their safety, their health, and their lives. And abortion bans in the United States intensify every structural inequality that exists in this country. They disproportionately harm those struggling to make ends meet. Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities, immigrants, young people, disabled people, individuals in rural communities, trans men, and some non-binary people. Those denied abortion care are more likely to wind up in poverty or trapped in abusive relationships as a result of denied care. This is our pain, our national shame, and a new kind of responsibility that we carry into this new week. And as noted in the chat, also there will be women, and other people who will die because of this change in the law. But we can mark as holy our ways of being in the world, our obligations to show up for those most impacted by this decision have changed, and our actions now for a more just world will be different, and they will be holy, just as our work to care for each other was and still is holy. And there is work to be done, a lot of work to be done. These times, this new terrible era, will demand much of us. Shabbat will become more important than ever, as we need to rest and to refuel in order to stay in this work for the long haul. Traditionally, we mark the end of Havdalah with the prayer of Eliyahu Hanavi, our hope for redemption. In this Havdalah, we will also call upon Miriam Haniviyah, Miriam the prophetess, that she may lead us without delay to the waters of help and healing. This is really a chance to call upon Elijah and Miriam inside each of us, the prophetic, courageous voices inside each of us that demand we bring forth a better world. As we separate between Shabbat and the week that lies ahead, we pray for the redemptive strength we need to keep going. So I am going to share the Havdalah ceremony in slides. And I'm going to go back one from here. Okay. The traditional opening for Havdalah is a prayer that we don't always do, but we're going to do it this evening. And I'm going to chant some of it in the Hebrew, and then we are going to read it together in the English on the next page. You can light your candles. Hine el Yeshuati Havtach Belo Evchad Ki Ozi Matya
Trying to read the Hebrew.
Yeshua Shaftamayim Bisasom Mimenei HaYeshua Adonai HaYeshua Alamcha Birchatecha Selah Adonai Manu Mishkav Lanu Elohei Yaakov Selah Adonai Tzvaot Ashrei Adam Poteach Bach Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Ya'anenu V'yom Koreinu LaYehudim Hayta Ora B'simcha B'sason V'yikar Kain Tihiyeh Lanu Kos Yeshuat Esa
Hashem Adonai Ekra.
We're going to read it together in the English, which I think is the better way for us to share and hear one another's voices.
Did I turn our audio on?
I think maybe
Unmute us? No.
easier for other people to
we-
hear if most of
We
you
are
at
unmuted.
this point. Please join me in reading it.
It's a view, so I can see everything.
I can work on muting just a second.
Unmute.
Okay, I'm going to have you muted at this point, and that way you can read with me, and those who are on Facebook will be able to hear better what the words are. Behold, my redeeming God, I am confident, unafraid, for God is my strength and song and has been my deliverance. You will draw joyfully water from the wells of salvation. God is our help, May God bless God's people. God is the universe. The God of the universe is with us. The God of Jacob is our protection. God of the universe, happy is the person who trusts in you. God, redeem. May the sovereign answer on the day that we call. And I'll say this line, and then you can unmute and repeat it after me. There was light and joy, gladness and honor for the Jewish people. So please unmute and say that together.
There was light
and joy, gladness and honor for the Jewish people.
So may there be for us, as we now lift the cup of salvation and call upon God's name. So before we say the blessing over the wine or juice, whichever you have, as we recite the blessing over the wine, we remember that there is still sweetness that we can bring to the world. There are still acts of caring and compassion we can bestow. Choices we can make to support those in our community who are hurting right now, and those in our community and beyond who are most impacted by this decision. So we continue now with the nigun for Havdalah. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are you, God, our God, sovereign of all, creator of the fruit of the vine. We could take a sip. I don't know if you can see, I do have the candle here, but I can sort of hold it, but not really yet with my wrist, so I have it set down in front of me for this evening once again. But it is lit, and I invite you to, of course, hold yours up if you're able to. We continue with our thoughts about the spices. The spices we smell are often understood as a way to bring the otherworldly bliss of Shabbat into the rest of the week. This week in particular, let us use their lingering aroma as a way to hold on to our vision of a just world, to remember the world as it must be, and to continue striving for it. Because Shabbat is to be that taste of a perfect world, the perfection of the world. So, as we prepare to breathe in the aroma of the sweet smell of the spices, may that help us in our resolve for working and devoting ourselves to these goals of this world. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei v'samim, borei minei v'samim. Blessed are you, God our God, sovereign of all, creator of varied spices. And as we move to the candle, to the flame, we look at the light and shadows on our hands and our fingernails and remember that we know right from wrong, that we bring the prophetic fire of truth into the world with our acts of advocacy and of action. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei meorei ha'eretz, Blessed are you, God our God, sovereign of all, creator of the lights of fire. The world we are entering is different from the world we have left behind. Before we recite this last blessing, separating realm from realm, time from time, let us pause to take a moment to feel our feelings, whatever they are. Wherever we are right now is valid. And let's not forget that we are in this together. I'll put it up here. Ya la ba ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael le'amim ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei hama'aseh Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. And we read that blessing together in the English. Blessed are you, God our God, sovereign of all, who distinguishes between the holy and the ordinary, between light and dark, between Israel and the nations, between the seventh day and the 6 days of work. Blessed are you, God, who distinguishes between the holy and the ordinary. We take another moment to savor, enjoy the light of the candle as we then prepare to put it out in our fruit of the vine. We first sing Eliyahu Hanavi together. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera v'yamenu, Yavo Eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. And we continue with Miriam Haniviyah to the same melody. The words, there's a little more words to it, and the English, of course, is on the page so you can know what we're singing as well. Miriam Haniviyah, Oz v'zimra biyada, Miriam tir koditanu, lehagdil zimrat olam, Miriam tir koditanu, litakein et ha'olam, bimera v'yamenu, hitavienu, el mei ha'yeshua, Miriam Haniviyah, Oz v'zimra v'yada, Miriam tir koditanu, lehagid zimrat olam, Miriam tir koditanu, litakein et ha'olam. as we hope for the forces of Miriam and Elijah to be with us and to be able to call upon them from within, we offer the words of wishing Shavua Tov for a good week. We're only going to do the Hebrew of it tonight because we're really looking at this being a week to come where we can join forces and move forward in this direction. And as we are looking at separating out what has been before and what now is, it doesn't mean we're satisfied with what is. It means that we're going to work towards it. So may this be a good week for us to engage in this work and begin the work in earnest together. Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov. Please unmute. Shavua Tov,
Shavua Tov,
Shavua
Shavua Tov,
Tov,
Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov.
Good week. A week of
And she
peace.
said we weren't going to sing.
Sorry, Shavua Tov,
Shavua Tov,
Shavua
Tov, Shavua Tov,
Tov,
Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov.
So as we conclude our Shabbat together and we conclude Havdalah together, we do continue to remember how important it is to support each other and to support so many others in need of the extra support now. If you look at the map of the states in this country where we will have access, people will have access to abortion whether they are not, it's quite harrowing. So our work is cut out for us in the future, and we have been up to the challenges of other things before, and we can be up to this challenge as well. We, of course, will be involved with many other efforts throughout this week in this area, and we will, of course, be together for Shabbat next week for Friday night. This tool is available to you as well as it is to me. If you want to use any of these materials in the future, there are many other resources available to us through many sources, but the National Council of Jewish Women is the group that has really been organizing the partnership, the coalition of many, many Jewish groups and working on this, as we have a particular Jewish agenda in that abortion is the only choice in some situations for a Jewish woman, and the law is not allowing Jewish women to follow Jewish law in this area anymore. So that does not in any way lessen the pain and the suffering for others as well, but it is a part of Jewish law, that this is a part of how we are to conduct ourselves in certain situations. So I hope that this has been a helpful moment to come together, and we'll thank everyone who's joined us on Facebook and hope that this offers you strength and support.